So now we want to get the sketch onto the paper. This is the size I'm going to use. This is 19 by 26 centimeters. The Baohong pad that I showed you earlier, it's roughly A3 size, but I just chop each sheet in two. But you can work on any size that you want. You can work smaller than this or bigger. I wouldn't really go larger than A3. It can be more difficult to control the larger washes. So this kind of size, or A4, is probably a good size to do. So I've gridded out the image. I've then gridded out the paper we're going to use, and then it's just a case of transferring and drawing in the image onto there. So we just want to keep it just for the main features really. What I tend to do is just do the main features, where the eyes are, the edge of the face, the lips, the ear, and then when I rub the lines out, that's when I will then go in and do sort of the values of the cheeks and that type of thing. So I'll start that now, and then I'll fast forward to when it's actually completed. Okay, so I've rubbed out all of the lines using the kneaded rubber, which doesn't leave any rubber residue on the paper. So I've rubbed out the lines, and then I've gone in onto the main areas of the features, you know, the eyes, the nose and the mouth, the ear, some of the outline of the face as well. And now I'm just going to go in and, just looking at the values on the face, just mark out some of these areas like we were talking about before, where you've got value 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. I'm just going to isolate some of those, so that's a guide for when we're actually putting the paint on the paper. So again, doesn't have to be exact. You want to be quite or relatively exact with the features, as we've done here. And then with this, it can be quite loose. So you know, just around there, around the eye socket. There's a bit of light coming down here as well, and the shadow here on the cheek sort of roughly ends around here, and then where the moustache comes down, that's down there. And the shadow underneath the bottom lip, and where his beard stubble on the bottom, which we won't paint in any detail. I don't really do the hair or facial hair or the actual hair in any detail. We'll just do a kind of shape. So I just want to roughly mark out where that shape is. See, there's a bit of shadow that comes down here. So you don't want to go too much. There's some coming over there with the brow. So as I say, the main focus of the sketch and getting it right needs to be on the features. Always make sure that the highlight is put in there, because we'll be keeping that out. And also with composition, which is quite important. I mean, I generally with all my paintings, I have a kind of floating head in the middle of the paper. You want to have it so it's slightly, so the gap between the top and the bottom is slightly bigger at the bottom. so that it's slightly shifted up. If it was exactly in the center, it wouldn't look quite right. I mean, it would look okay, but I think if it's just slightly up a bit, just a little bit, then that makes it a bit more interesting and frames the face a bit better. And also because when on a lot of my paintings at the bottom, I'll do some flicks out here and out here, so that gives a bit of extra space to be able to do that. And rarely will I go above the hairline, the top of the head, the hair above there, but I will come down there. So yeah, generally all the compositions I do is just a kind of floating head in the middle. Okay, so now we'll go on to the mixing all the paints.